Ignore the transcript if you need to. Okay, so welcome everybody. I think this is one of the first workshops. My name is Vera Pancaldi. I'm not really involved in care, but I am a bioinformatician and I work in this institute, CRCT. I have a team on computational biology, and maybe you can mute as well. So some of your colleagues are connecting from online because they are in different countries, I guess. So I just wanted to say that basically we organize bioinformatics seminars once a month. And sometimes we offer the speakers to come and give a workshop for the care students because care is organizing the seminars themselves. So I know there was a bit of confusion because this morning I think you had a lecture, so very few of you came this morning. And it's absolutely not a problem. Your lectures are compulsory, and next time I'll try to make sure that we don't schedule the seminar when you have a lecture, but the organization is still... So I have a great pleasure to have Enrique Carrillo here with me today. He's visiting from Madrid. I met Enrique many, many years ago when we were working, well, not that many, come on, we're super young. But we were working in the Spanish National Cancer Research Center in Sevilla, in Madrid. And he's done a lot of different things in bioinformatics. And particularly now he's working on personalized nutrition. So the seminar this morning was about his work on personalized nutrition and microbiome networks and the relationship with diet. But this afternoon, the idea is for him to give you an overview of what it's like to be a bioinformatician. Enrique is also very much involved in a very, very good master's in bioinformatics from Madrid. And since you guys signed up for the Care Masters, I guess you're also interested in bioinformatics, and it's good to have an opportunity to listen to his life story. So I think it's going to be a mixture between personal experience and a bit of science. And please feel free to ask questions. I'm going to be here until 3 p.m. After that, I'm going to have to leave. But you have 2 hours of time, so you can decide how to use this time. Now, the language is English. I hope everybody is comfortable with that. And if not, ask to repeat. Enrique can do Spanish, but also probably, I think if you ask, it will be easier to explain something else, something twice or better. So you will know that basically the classes are recorded. It's because at the end, you will have to answer some sort of questions, and you have the possibility of watching the video again. So if you miss some details, you can do it. Now, I do suggest you pay attention, because if you have to see twice as many lectures as there actually are because you listen to them twice, it's going to take quite some time. But this could help also if things are not very clear the first time. So voilà, Enrique, the field is yours.
Thank you very much, Vera. Of course, thank you very much, Vera Pancaldi, for this invitation and the professors of the master to invite me to be here today. It's more exciting to be here than in the seminar this morning. It's not because I don't like, because I like to deal with the students. No, as Vera said, I'm a professor too in the Universidad Autónoma de Madrid, with a Master of Bioinformatics in that. I don't have so much really to tell you. I think that it will be in the other way around, the question that you have. We can talk about everything that you want. I try to solve any question that you have about my scientific life, our research lines, whatever. But for that, I needed that you did your work. Who can tell me something about me or anything about me? You can talk about it. You know that you have this workshop from how much time? 1 week, 2 weeks, something like that. 1 day, 2 hours, 10 minutes ago. Yeah, you can. How much time they announce this workshop? Yeah. You don't remember. You know that you have to be here, but you.
I sent an email 2 days ago at least. I mean.
Okay, you have at least 2 days to Google who I am. I mean, I expect for my students in Madrid that they will be curious about the people that come. In fact, it's more important that when you have invited the speaker, it's more important that they talk about their experience, about how was their career, etc. That these things that you don't know what is going to happen in the future, we try to not solve, but that you see the experience of them. No? And I think that is very important, and this is something I like to my students when we do it in Madrid. But of course, for that, we need some conversation. I know that you are for the notes. I mean, I see you ready to write a lot of things. I hope that here you have a lot of places with things that maybe can move your brains and what to do and this kind of things. No? I would like to know how many people are here from the biomedical staff, that means biologists, biochemistry, medicine. Would you put your hands from there to know more or less? Please, but no, but in this way, I mean, yeah, because if I put here, I mean, it's difficult for me to count. I mean, more or less, okay, we have around, okay, and engineering, we have some engineering informatics or, okay, we have 3, 4, 5, mathematicians, statistics, no, and the others, what? You are engineering in the middle, no? There are some, now in Spain, there are some grades that mix informatics with statistics, something like that, no? Well, and the others?
And you bioinformatics too.
Ah, okay, you are bioinformatics already, okay, wow. And the others? Because there are some people that didn't keep, they don't study nothing. No? No. Biology. Okay, we can say like in biohealth stuff, no? Because this is a master of biohealth, something like that, no?
Yes.
Oncology or specific for oncology? Okay, really good. Okay. Maybe I can start with my life. I admit any type of questions. The personals I will take or not, depend of me, of course. Then we can talk about something that we do. I mean, I saw that some of you were this morning in the seminar, but can tell other things, but I can change everything. Okay? I mean, at the moment that you want to do, we change. I mean, and you have other questions, we can do it. By training, I like most of you, biologists. Okay? I wanted to be doctor, medicine doctor, not biologist. But you know, in Spain, we need our grades, some levels. I didn't write to that. Sorry, I'm not a top guy student. Maybe you are top. I mean, you are in the best grades, something like that. No, sorry about that. Maybe that can be fun depressing, no? Okay. Who invite better? No, something that is not top. And then you cannot do medicine because my grades are not enough. I say, okay, something similar could be biology. You know, in biology, we have one specialty inside of the grade, that is biomedicine. I specialize in biomedicine at that time. And then I say, okay, I like this of the research. At that time, I like it to be in the lab and, you know, to like cooking, to do the things, immunochemistry, PCRs, and all this kind of stuff. And during my last years of the bachelor, I said, okay, but I really like it. And then I decided to go to a lab and say, sorry, can I come during the summer a couple of months to try? And they, yes, of course, you are for free. I don't have to pay you a salary. Came, of course, came, no? And I were there, no? I spent a couple of months, one summer, in one hospital in the lab, looking. It's really to be there and the contact with the doctors and nurseries and that kind of things and the work that I have to do in the lab. I really like it. I was not so convinced and I said, okay, during the Christmas I come back. And they said, okay, yes, we don't pay salary, you come back. And I'm master, no? And really, I start to think that, okay, this is what I like it. I like research. I think that could be good for me. At that moment, I was a little bit more passionate about cure cancer. No, and you say, okay, I'm Carrillo. I'm here to cure cancer. I can do it. I can do a lot. No, thousands of scientists trying to solve it. I'm going to arise and I'm going to do it. At some point, I decided to, after finish my bachelor, to go for a PhD, and then I started in a lab, in the same lab where I was doing my training, during the summers and these kind of things. This lab was in a hospital, in Ramón Cajal Hospital. This one of the biggest in Madrid. And I started a research line in lung cancer and angiogenesis. Is here? It's okay? Any question? No? If you have any question in any moment, please put your hands, stop me. For the people in Teams too, you can interact us, and I can clarify everything. Well, okay, I were there. It was a very small lab. We were 3 people: the boss, another PhD, and me. My boss leaves the lab in the first year. Easy. I'm going to cure cancer. I'm alone. No, in a hospital with a lot of patients. Of course, you could say at that time, wow, you can cry, you can do many things. No, but at that time, I said, this is an opportunity. I mean, I'm going to try. I know doctors, I know people. I'm going to work. And of course, my boss was leading me from Vigo, that is in the north of Spain, that he knew it, and I get some contact with other labs to work in their labs, and I did my job. In that case, a little bit independent, because my colleague that was finishing the PhD finished the PhD after 1 year and a half that I entered, and that I was alone. But okay, I had to do my job. I said, okay, let's go to do it. And I do it, no? And I get very good relationship with surgeons, with clinical people that they need to give me the samples. And then with other people in other labs that they allow me to have some part of the bench doing the experiments and this kind of. This is that. I assume that most of you have been in a lab, at least for some internships, no? That you have to do it. Yeah, I mean, I was in that moment, in that place, and this is around between 2020, maybe 22 and 25, around, and at that time exploiting the rice. Well, you don't know because you are very young, but at that time, the rice, micro rice, I assume, no? Or no, because now with sequencing, the rice have almost disappeared. No? You have many spots in your rice, you match the sequence to see if one gene can be transcribed or not. And that was the early times. I was working in angiogenesis. I do more immunohistochemistry, but I can do it only for 7 parts angiogenesis. When I went for a rice, I can do it for all the genes of the gene. It was a big change in the thesis of the people of that time. No, because usually one thesis at that time was to characterize one factor. But when I started up a rice, is characterize all the genes. This looks like easy, but fundamental change is really hard, no? At that time that you have this power. And of course, you need other methods. Because count 1 by 1 is easy. But count around 20,000 genes is really difficult. And to see how the patterns and this kind of things. Then I started to realize that I need to strengthen my skills in bioinformatics. The bioinformatics of that time. Yeah? Because I'm sure that you check a lot of, about UCSC? Yes? No? The browser to see genomics features, things like that. Enrichment analysis for functional enrichment analysis. You take a group of genes, put in a machine, and the machine tells you this is for metabolism, or this is for proliferation, or this is. Do you know this kind of tools? I assume that now in the grade. Nothing of this existed at that time. Okay? That means that at that time it was really hard to analyze this kind of data, and you have to think on that. Now you have masters in bioinformatics, grades in bioinformatics, groups with bioinformatics, blah, blah, bioinformatics, blah, bioinformatics, computational biology, blah, blah, blah. At that time, you don't have you only have a statistics unit, more in the hospital, more in the epidemiological side, to know about genes. Therefore, I had to train by myself. I had to start to read and to do this kind of stuff, not only statistics, but start to read how to manage my data. There were no R, there were no R packages. Poof. You can imagine, no? My boss left 1 year, I arrived, my colleague 1 year and a half, this kind of things of group meeting. You can imagine what was for me a group meeting, no? The journal clubs. Now you can imagine what were the journal clubs for me, no? But okay, I do it. And here, during this time, I started to learn that okay, bioinformatics could be important because now we have in the right time this is arriving. I thought, the second learning that I get it is that I will not cure the cancer. Okay, it was after my second year of PhD. I say that this is like very complex. And that moment, I say, okay, no, I mean, I'm not going to cure the cancer, but at least I can try to improve and to help people and to help doctors and to help with my job and with my work. No, this is what my motivation really now to try to help people, try to help. But there is an egoist part of this because it's not only because when you ask for a scientist, oh, why do you do it? Because I want to help the society. I would like to cure the cancer or cure the disease. People, yes, this is true. But then I want that if I have a cancer, I do Okay. Yeah. Pues in this way, I will analyze data that the lab would say. Unit. And I started to cancer.
Is this better?
Now we can hear you, but we couldn't hear the last 10 minutes of the talk.
Ah, but I told you to shout out. We can hear you.
Well, we wrote it in the chat, but no one was there.
Yeah. That's why I said shout. So you hear now?
Yes, we hear now.
So we have to stay on this one. Oh, this is charged, so you can move this. Well, the last 10 minutes were not important. The answer is you have to go to sequencing when no one knows what it is.
Yes, I mean, when you find something that is strange, and the experts say, "Well, this is going to be the future," and things like that. Maybe the field or the theme that you are going to do is not so exciting like others, but you can say, "Okay, it's important. No, this is going to be important. I'm going to have a job. It's not only about society. It's really that I need to have a job, and it's going to be. And of course, you need to need that you like it. These kind of things, no." And I took it. And it was the first ChipSec analysis that was done in Spain in the CNA, in the Spanish National Cancer Center. ChipSec was the first ChipSec. You know ChipSec, transcription factor is going to bind, you take with antibodies, sequencing, and you know where the transcription factor is binding in the DNA, no? Without tools, we back to this, you have to check how to do it and try to find a workflow and how to analyze, very simple, no? And that was the first ChipSec that was analyzed. I think that in Spain, because the CNIO was the most advanced at that time, center, and great. I mean, okay, I knew how to do it. At the end of this internship, I got a position in another hospital in a very competitive funding in Spain as technician for statistics in the epidemiology group in Hospital 12 de Octubre, that is other of the big hospitals in Madrid. But when I was 1 week before I have to go there, Alfonso Valencia, I don't know if you know Alfonso Valencia. Alfonso Valencia is one of the biggest bioinformatics in Europe, bigger ones. He was the leader of the master. He was the head of that master. He called me. He's editor of bioinformatics. He's having the president of the ESMBB, and blah, blah, blah. No, he is the director now of the Life Science Department in the Barcelona Supercomputing Center. Blah, blah, blah. Top. Not me, top. Top people. Okay? The people that you want to interact with them. Because they are top. Okay? And Alfonso is very top. And he told me, Enrique, I have a problem. I had to send someone to the Henk Stunenberg lab in the Netherlands because maybe he's going to move to the CNIO, and I need someone that move. Are you interested to move with Henk? Because you are the unit that have been doing sequencing analysis. He is doing a lot of sequencing. What do you think? I went to Google, Henk Stunenberg, and I learned that he was he's already one of the biggest names in the epigenomics field. Epigenomics in that times. That nobody talks about epigenomics. Okay? This is important. What do you think that you have to do? Go. No, you had the opportunity because you had the connection. Okay, Alfonso is good relationship with Henk. Alfonso is promoting me to, as I told you, you need to do the network with the teachers, with the heads of the master, talk with them, be very heavy. Hello, I'm Enrique. Hello, how are you? Hello, I'm here. No, look like that is something, but this is a work that you have to do it. It's the part of your work when you are a student. It's not the work of the professor. It's work of you. I forget many students, but there are some students that sometimes came, Enrique, this. So in fact, I have one example that is Jacobo, that is defending his PhD in a couple of weeks. He was a student in my master, in the master I teach it, and he came with an idea to do it in Drosophila. I don't know nothing about Drosophila. But he collaborated with another scientist there in Spain about Drosophila. And he said, Enrique, I need your help because I don't have support in bioinformatics, but I don't know Drosophila. Enrique, you need to support me because at the end it's so heavy. Okay, yes, no problem. Okay, we will support you from the tools and from this kind of thing. He did the TFM, the master work with collaboration with us, And at that time, Vera wrote me or something like that. Enrique, do you know someone that want to move for a PhD because I'm looking for a project? And I say, Jacobo want to do the PhD outside of Spain. He wanted to go, and I say, Jacobo, Vera is not Drosophila. It's human cancer and diseases. And at that time, I put them in contact. There was a matching, like Tinder, but for a scientist. And Jacobo came here and have been a very successful PhD with Vera here. No? But you know that sometimes you don't know where it's going to be. You need to be heavy. Sometimes you don't know what is going to happen, but at least you need to try to put with contact with the professors, teachers, go to visit them. You know they are going to tell you that they are very busy, but I like to take some coffees with my students sometimes, and they tell me about what is happening, what they thought, what they want to do in the future, and things like that. No? And well, at that point, okay, I had to go to the Hospital 12 de Octubre 1 week before go there and to say, sorry, I will not come. You can think that it's easy. It's really difficult because it was in a competitive brand in Spain. That means that they put me there refusing other people. And at some point, I had to tell them, sorry, I had another opportunity that I think that is really better for me. And 1 week before, I had, when you cannot do nothing, you are going to lose a position. I was very lucky because the boss, or what should be my boss in that position, Enrique, told me, if I knew that you have very good options, better than me, and you don't take it, you will be putting coffees to the teams of my team, or the members of my team, for your 4 years that you will be here. I mean, sometimes you find the people that understand that, of course, sometimes these things could happen, no? Other times not, because it's very difficult to get grants. And when you get a grant and someone comes to tell you that you get something better or you are offering, it's really difficult, I have to say. No, not always like in my life. And then I moved with Stunenberg, thinking that in a couple of years I would come back to Spain because he wanted to. Okay, no? Okay, I went there. And when I arrived there, as I told you, in Spain, one chipseek. When I arrived, they have one machine, one Illumina, running 7 days per week, 365 days. Technicians worked even during the weekends to create a lot of data, transcriptomics, epigenomics, omics, moromics, and moromics. I mean, it was something incredible, no? And they have thousands of experience when I arrived there, no? Change the level of the mentality, no? It's like statistics to bioinformatics, from the PCRs to the microarrays, and here arrive another change, no? It's, okay, one chipset to thousands of data. Transcriptomics, epigenomics, you have to integrate, you have to do many, many things, no? And I spent there a couple of years learning really a lot. I enjoyed really a lot of the time. It was a very international. Well, in this case, it was my first time that I was in a very big group with more than 30 people working there. But you remember, I was in teams alone, almost alone, 3, something like that. No, and here there were many people, many very international in the Netherlands, many people from many countries. We really enjoyed hard work, I have to say, many places. And I was there learning about epigenomics, sequencing, analyzing, how to integrate. You know this heat map, no, of the chipset now that you have center, and you know, at that time there were no packages in R, neither in Java, neither in nothing. We need to compute one by one by hand. Well, we do it. I enjoy. I had 1 year more, but for personal reasons, I had to back to Madrid. And of course, what you do when you want to move another place? What you do think that you should do it? Come on, don't be afraid. I mean, there's no correct questions. Yeah, but how you look for a job? You go to LinkedIn, no? Put an advertisement. Yeah, that's the networking. What I did is to mail all the people that I know, my teachers, the master, the people that I knew during my PhD, during other things, colleagues that I had yet in the network from master grades and other things, and I tell them, I want to back to Spain. And Alfonso called me and said, don't worry, Enrique. Here we have now a lot of jobs in the CNA. Don't worry, because we will look for you a position here in the CNA, because we need your expertise that you get it with Henk in epigenomics, because at that time it started to be a jump in the interest of epigenomics. No? In fact, when I back to Spain, is the first big project, the flagship European project with 60 million euros. That is the Blueprint project, where Vera and myself we keep working together. We keep working, killing, and everything during those years at CNIO. No? And then I back with Alfonso and with Paco Real. I was between two groups, with Paco Real and with Alfonso. With Paco Real, he working in bladder cancer, and he was more interested to use me like a technician, because he had many transcriptomics data and a lot of chip-seq data that they needed to analyze. And then with Alfonso working most as postdoc, like here you have the data. When you have the paper, you back with me, and we discuss about what you get. And of course, you can imagine another group with 30 people, with many different expertise. Vera from physics. I mean, you can imagine, Vera comes from GIST. Well, even before maybe petroleum engineering, even worse, no? And then we have other people from evolutionary field. Then we have people for proteins, how to model. Now we have AlphaFold. But at that time, there were people that try to model how is the structure of the protein or things like that. No, people from test mining. I don't know why. All of them from Austria. I'm not sure why, but there were 4 people working in test mining. I mean, we have a very nice different ways to work and thinking and training, and we did a great job. No, I mean, I think from my point of view, no, that is me. I mean, it's my consideration. We did papers. I think that we get a lot of fun. In fact, all of the papers that we get, they were never written in a project. This is really important. It was not something prepared. I mean, the papers appear in the coffee, in the lunch, in other times that we discuss is, okay, I'm doing this, you are doing that. If you see the papers of that time, there is never one unique first author. We have 2, 3, 4, even 5 first authors, because we put different knowledge from different disciplines to try to create papers to try to advance in what we know in the epigenomics in that moment, in cancer epigenomics, and you can see, and for me are the most. I mean, when people tell me what are your most funny papers, are those that never were in a project writing, because that counts for funny. You know to do something, he knows to do something, she knows to do something, put together, and you have to join. It's like a matching, like it's another Tinder. I mean, you like to work between the 3, and you like to put some time and do it and enjoy, and you have your papers outside. Yes, and yeah, this was my life in a top center, in this case, like Nijmegen. When in the Netherlands, I was in the Nijmegen, in the Radboud University. And here was the Spanish National Cancer Center, that I think that is one of the biggest Spanish center and research in Spain, and very known, international known in cancer. You know, a lot of people, top people. That's what you have to do, networking. You talk with them. At the end of my time in the CNIO, I was involved in coordinate a project that was related to do network between Portugal, Spain, and south of France. Okay. In fact, it was led by the Oncopol here in Toulouse. No? And we had to go to Oporto in Portugal to do a meeting for 2 days with different researchers at different fields in cancer, but in different type of fields in Oporto. And they tell me, Enrique, and it was focuses in diet and nutrition. At the CNIO at that time, we didn't have people working in cancer, diet, and nutrition. That means that I had to Google and to say who in Madrid is doing diet and nutrition. I found 2 groups. One that I was collaborating previously, that was an endocrine department in the hospital that I worked. And I asked her, okay, you want to come? And she said, I can, but I should send someone from my team. Okay. And then I see that we have the India Food Institute, where is where I work in now. That is at the end of my history. And I contacted the director, Ana Ramirez, that she had a group working in cancer and nutrition. Okay, and she told me, yes, I'm interested to go there. I didn't know nothing about her. This was about Google. Send an email, and she told yes. Then we all remember this kind of, why you say a guy that tell you by internet, come with me to Oporto. No, I mean for a meeting, no? And there was a problem. No, I didn't want it to go because I was not very interested. But the CIO told me, no, you have to go because we need one representative and you are the coordinator. I say, okay. And then there was another logistic problem. It's difficult to arrive to Oporto from Lisbon. No, sorry, this was to Coimbra, and from Oporto, because we fly to Oporto, Coimbra, it was difficult to arrive. That means that you had to drive the car. You had to drive the car. We went there, I drive the car, and we were talking during 2 hours from Oporto to Coimbra. And you know, what you are going to talk, what are you doing, when you work, and we were talking about that. No? And at some point, and I don't remember when we went to Coimbra, when we back, I didn't work for 4 hours. I said, well, I'm looking for what to do because Alfonso is leaving to Barcelona. The team is going to be disconnected. And I'm interested to go to another things. And I'm thinking what to do. And Ana Ramirez, who came at that moment, was the director, the assistant director of the India Food, told me, okay, send me your CV because maybe we are interested. What you do when someone tell you, and is the director of an institution, send me your CV. The flight didn't arrive to Madrid, you already have sent your CV. No, of course. Nobody you want to forget. And 2 days later you say, remember I sent you, was beautiful these 2 days that we spent in Coimbra, was beautiful to with you, be heavy. No, I send you, did you receive my CV because I submitted and something like that? And say yes. And 2 weeks later, she called me and said, do you want to visit our institute? Because we are interested to join you as bioinformatics and a leader of one of the group of bioinformatics. And it's okay, I'm going to visit. We did matching, to do matching, and then 3 months later, I was leading my own group in the Food Institute. I mean, you can think, no? I mean, driving a taxi from Oporto to Coimbra, you get a job. A head position, not just a head position. No? Of course, this is my life. That not means that all the life of the present, but this is my life. But this is just to tell you that you have to take the opportunities. You never know where is the opportunity. You don't know what day is going to be the next step. But you need to be very, very ready for everything. No? And then this was around 2018. I joined the group, and then I started my group. I started to join students, master. Then I take a position in the Universidad Autónoma de Madrid as associated lecturer for a master in bioinformatics. And well, I lead my own group. We back to be small. We are 5 people. But we are happy in general. We don't have the resources at CNA because we are a more small group and a small institute, but I do what I want to do because I'm the boss. I'm not top, but I'm the boss. Okay, that means that I decide in what field we are going to work, the strategic and these kind of things, no? That I really like it and we do. And since the last 5 years, it's something that we are doing. I don't know if you have any questions, arriving almost to the end of my life. Still a moment. I hope to be here for many years. I don't know what is the. I don't know if you have questions. Please go ahead with any curiosity, any something. Why I took this decision or why I do this. I didn't have other things. I don't know. Usually comes a lot of questions about this, no? Because I don't know if you are in similar situations about what you are going to do after your master, or you are doing something, or you don't know what to do with your life. Maybe you hate science. The master, where do you have to go for your TFM or for your master thesis? It looks like that, no, but it's really important decision. I mean, usually the people take is but it's really very important decision. Where do you go? I will tell my students, because if one of the students that came with me is good, I will recommend to other groups. And I know many groups in Europe, even some of them in USA. I mean, if you have good performance in my group, I can tell someone, go with this guy. And usually, if someone tell me, Enrique, this is really good, take it. They do it. And in the other way around, if I say, well, this student looks like that is really good. What you are going to do? You are going to do interviews for the people that you don't know? Or you are going to take someone that have been tested? by a colleague that you trust. Maybe you are not top. Okay? Mega, questions. Let's go. You have in internet any question? When start the period? But when do you have to start the projects? In 2 months? In 3 months? In?
Yeah, the internship. Sorry, project internship.
Yes, something. Yeah. When do you have to start? In 2 months? In 3 months? Now? Sorry? Just start.
They've already started. I think they do the project at the same time as they do their lectures, right? Yeah, right. So everybody has started.
Okay. Or people is already there.
No?
Okay, because in Spain usually you have the lectures, and then after the lectures you start with the project. No, I mean it's okay, it's no problem, but it's important really to check this kind of things because can make a difference. Depends the group that you go, and of course your performance. It's important. It's not just the boss or your leaders. Yes, it's important how you perform. That the leaders will be convinced that they need to recommend you to some place. Depends on what do you want. It's not like submit people if they don't want. Of course, I mean, they want.
How many people are doing projects in bioinformatics?
Okay.
Or you don't know? Because sometimes in some teams they will have projects that are a bit of both.
But how many people are doing analysis, Aldo, or some kind of analysis? No. I know that bioinformatics people, I say those people that they don't consider that they work in bioinformatics, but they have to do some analysis. No, there is no analysis. Yes or not? Okay, you can put your, okay. Other people? Well, now it's really important now to do analysis because we are leaving the labs. We are leaving the labs and we are more in front of the computer. You have to think on that. You have now a large amount of data sets that you have to explore before starting the labs. And this is something that is happening, for example, in my institute, that the labs start to be empty because you don't need to be so much time in the bench because you have now many data that you can start to explore, then to arrive to some hypothesis, and then go to the lab to do the specific. No, I say maybe you don't. I say to students, to something, and other people in my institute that they are nutritionists and they are starting to be aware that this of have some skills in analyze data is important. Maybe you are not going to be a bioinformatician because maybe you like a lot the lab. Okay, it's not that to be all people need to be bioinformatician, and no. I mean, someone likes a lot of the lab, and that is really great. You can do it, but you have to spend some time in data analysis nowadays, and I think that more in the future. Okay, and this is really important to take some training on that. And because other thing that is really important, this is a difference that I learned being in small groups and in big groups. In a small group, you have to do a lot and all by yourself, and you learn a lot of things, and you have the control. You need to have the control of everything. No, when you have in big group, it's not needed because you have many different expertise. I put my expertise, that come with her expertise. We try to integrate, but I don't need really to be an expert on that kind of things. No. But I always recommend that you need a little bit, a little bit something about analysis because you can discuss with the bioinformaticians in the case that you go. Because I always say to the bioinformaticians in the master or the people that is be training, don't forget never the biology or the disease, the clinical part. Because sometimes it's like, give me the data, here you have the results. No, I mean, this is not the way. And in the other way around, sometimes getting the biologists or the clinicians with a, well, let's say with a pen drive, but this is very old. Maybe with an FTP or something like that. No, they submit their data and they expect that we know what we should do and what we should compare, and then I have a result that is incredible. No? And doesn't happen. I mean, if I'm a bioinformatician, I need to understand what is the problem from the clinics part or for the biology part or things like that to try to adopt the better methods. Okay. And this needs a lot of talks because I'm going to interact, and the other way around. Okay, as bioinformatician, to understand what they need, I need to talk, and you need a crosstalk between both. You need to learn a little bit about the problem, about the transcription factor that he's looking for, or she's looking for, or the disease, or things like that. Right? It's really very important. I always tell to my students. In fact, sometimes I'm invited to the juries or the TFM of some of the thesis of my students, and I always tell them, if you invite me, and you are the bioinformatician, I'm going to ask you about the methodology, but I'm going to ask you about the biology. It's not valid to me that one of my students in their PhD presentation, when you have the typical question of, but this disease can do this, and you say, or this obtention of the DNA, and they say, I don't know because I didn't. Was done by. Yes, okay, that is good. It's good to have, but you need to know what they are doing. And I'm going to put one example. No? I was talking yesterday with Ben. No? When I was in the hospital at the beginning, I did in lung cancer my thesis, and I was trying that the surgeons invite me for a surgery. Okay, I was heavy, and I was invited to one surgery. I saw how they obtain the samples. In lung cancer, they take the sample, they put in a bottle, they put in one place, and they wait that someone move the sample to the pathology department. This can be in minutes, in hours, or even in days. Then the pathologist get the bottle with the sample at that day, not now. I'm talking about 20 years ago. Was in the department pathologist, maybe was in the sun 1 day, 2 days, 1 week, until the pathologist have time to look at the sample and do the diagnostic. Okay? At that time, you can smoke in the hospital. You can imagine that you can inspect the sample, smoking to the sample. Because the pathologists at that time, what they do for lung cancer is macroscopic analysis. I had to work in angiogenesis. Do you know the angiogenesis process? VGF, angiogenesis, the development of vessels, of blood vessels. Okay, what happened with this system? Try. There is no correct or incorrect questions. Answer. Sorry. Try. What do you think that happens in all this process with the angiogenesis factors? No. Speed up. Talk up. Sorry?
Do you think the cells are going to react to the smoke?
Yes, of course. They are under hypoxia because they are disconnected for the oxygen circuit. They don't have nutrients. That means that they need to promote more vessels to try to growth or whatever. Of course, you have the smoke. That means that you are inducing the expression of this kind of factors. Okay. At the end, if I wait that the pathologist give me the sample to do a rise or whatever, the result that I'm going to have are false. I mean, I cannot believe those. It's shit. And one thing that is important for bioinformatician, if sample is shit, the data is shit, the results are shit, and the conclusions are shit. It's important to have it because sometimes we are not aligning with it. No, look, the data is data, and we find something is important. No, shit is shit, and back to shit after results and after the discussion and conclusions. Yes, that means that I need to know this protocol, and then I agree with pathologists and the surgeons that the surgeons will take the samples immediately for me after remove from the patient, and they will put in ice. My compromise was to have always ice in the surgery during the surgery, that they can do it. And the pathologist say, okay, always that not compromise the diagnostic of the patient. Of course, that is normal. Yes, of course, sure.
Please, you have another hour with Enrique, but remember these workshops are all for you, and the idea is that there is information that goes through. So ask questions. If you don't understand, just raise your hand. It's totally normal. But it's important that we get some participation. And also, if you have feedback on the courses you are taking, if you don't understand because it's too mathematical, or you don't understand because the professors speak French and you don't understand French, let us know. So I'm not really involved, but write to Bruno Segui or Philippe Vallée or Clémence. Clémence, I know her very well. So if you have any feedback, please let us know. Okay? And see you in about a month. I think you can all be invited to Jacobo's discussion because it's a bioinformatics thesis, and maybe we'll make an invitation to the students.
Sure.
Okay? Thanks, Enrique.
No, Steve. Well, I don't know. More questions. There are more questions. No. It's hard to be a researcher. How many people want to go to the industry? 1, 2, 3. Oh, a few. In Spain, usually, sorry? In a company. 5, 4 or 5, more or less. 3, 4, 5. Well, in Spain, usually is 60% want to go to the industry. I mean, it's something in the master bioinformatics that I teach, no? But it's good. I mean, you are going to suffer, but it's good.
Can you get a point of view about it? About being research or being a company?
Yes, I can give you my view. The first one, I never was in a company. That means that I can have a little bit bias to the research. Then it's important that you look for someone in the company that you do the same question to see the other things. It's your job. The second one, I had the experience of Spain with a little in the Netherlands. Okay, that means that could be a little bit different from France, no? It's a painful career. I don't want to say this is very nice, this is, you suffer a lot. You never know, at least in Spain, when you are going to have money. This is a problem. And the few money that you have is very competitive. That means that this, from my point of view, disturbs a little bit the reasons of the science. The reason of the science is provide better life for the society and for me. Okay, as I said, is as I understand the science, but this is my understanding of the science and why I'm here and why I know that I could get more money in industry because sometimes the industry comes, Enrique, I would like that you come and I offer this. That means that I lose money from the research academic point of view in Spain. I don't know here how are the salaries and how it's, but in Spain. But I have more freedom. In a company, you work for products. All companies. The people that I know in companies, they are for products. They could like their job, but it's for products that you have to sell. And the people want to buy. Because if not, you don't have a company. That's not bad. No, because I don't know here in France, but in Spain, we always tell the bad, the dark side. No? When you talk about companies like the dark side, no? Because they want to be rich, they gain more money and this kind of thing. I'm not in favor of that kind of sentence. I think that it's important to have product. No? But the research point is hard. In Spain, you need to spend some time outside of Spain because if not, it's very difficult that you get postdoctoral positions. You are not going to have never a supervisor or a head group position if you didn't spend some time outside. That means that you have to do it. If you have, I don't know, if you are married or you have kids, you have to go outside. Sometimes it's not so simple. This kind of when you are not compromised. I mean, you can go around the world perfectly. And in that case, is very competitive and is kind. But in the half is freedom. You can move, you can select what projects you want. Maybe not when you are in your PhD. When you are in your PhD, you are filtering and they put it one. But when you start to be a postdoc, you start to be a little bit more independent and you can do things as you like it. As more senior postdoc, more independency you have. And of course, when you are the head of a group or whatever, I decide in what project I want to be and what project I want to be. And I can tell you, we work in diseases, in health, in human diseases. But 6 months ago, one researcher that is doing the PhD in the University of Baja California in Mexico contacted us to tell us if we can support her in analysis of microbiome data from turtles, green turtles in the Pacific.
because they work in the conservation of the turtles. I talk with my postdoc that is in microbiology, and I say, well, it's our opportunity to support people working in conservation. We have the knowledge, she has the interest. Why not do it? Nobody's going to come tell me, yeah, Enrique, but you are working. No, I mean, nobody. I mean, say, okay, yes, with the documents. And she came and she started the last week for 1 month to analyze her data. It's something that I can do it. We have collaborated with a network, pediatric network, cancer pediatric network in Germany, just because we are interested. It's our children, and we support it. Because I like it. In a company, you cannot do that. A company, you are more than product. That means that you have a lot of freedom and you have other things. In academia, you have a lot of bureaucracy. When you are PhD, suffer a little bit. When you are a postdoc, suffer a little bit more. A senior postdoc, more. And the boss is all the day in the bureaucracy part. No, in fact, I say, the people say, it's very interesting your research. I say, no, it's the research of the people that work with me. Because what I try to do is that they can research without any problem, and I take all the bureaucracy part. No, and this is the bad side. And then in academia there are other things. You go to meetings, know a lot of people. I like a lot of the network, the social life of the science, no, and then you see many things that is in the frontier. No? Because the companies, not always, but in most of the cases they are not in the frontiers of what is happening or the discovery. No, but you are always in the frontier. No, you go to the next step. We know till here, and I need to put a little bit of knowledge. I'm not the top that I'm going to cure the cancer. I understand that, but I can put another step to try to understand something, and then I can help to another step. No? And I can do it with many people. And if some people arrive to be friends, like in our case, Vera and myself, it's even better because you discuss about something that you are passionate, that you like on the beers, not on the meat, or things like that. No, and I enjoy this kind of things. No. But I don't have the experience of the company. I don't say that is a dark side. I think that they are important too, because at the end, I'm very fanatic of the fundamental knowledge. No? Now all people want that you translate in products, in services, things like that. No, now the impact, what they say. No, but you need to have an impact, someone. Most of the things that have been discovered in the world in the past was not because it was a impact, a commercial impact. It's because there were people that was passionate about find the answer to a question. Darwin, you know Darwin? Charles Darwin. Yes. No, because sometimes there are, you know the Beagle trip from some islands and the south of South America. He didn't went to the boat to do a very rich trip, thinking that he was to discover the theory of evolution. That appeared later. But he was just because he was curious, he wanted to know things, and then he observed birds, he observed turtles, he saw that there were some differences that could be important, things like that. And then, after he arrived back to UK, he imagined or whatever the theory of the species. Okay? And this is what I like of the science, the fundamentals, to understand. For me, it's exciting to think. You never thought about why are you here? No why, but how are you here? In your body, you have millions of cells that have to be completely coordinated to do anything. I mean, for me, you say, okay, to do this looks like very easy, but it's thousands of cells that need to be coordinated to move muscles, bones, connected with the nervous system. It's magic. If you think, it's magic. All the things that we can do, and we don't understand many of these things. No, how at the physical level, you know, how and it's like it's exciting. I can tell you a little bit about the seminar of this morning. No, for example, we are in food. No, you have to decide 3 or 4 times at least during the day what you are going to eat, and this is going to interact with your body, and it's have some consequences, and it's needed. This is not about talking about one disease that some people can have, another not, and no. This is something that we have to every day, and we have to make a decision, even if we are doing fasting. But now it's like, fasting, no, it's very naive now and a trending topic. But I have to decide if I'm going to do fasting. And if I decide that I do fasting, have a biological consequence. Okay? For me, it's fascinating. It's like why I like to be in the academia and research. In a company, I cannot say why I can do this. This is a stupid thing, but this kind happens. You know, let's see, small things. I don't know if I answer. You have more. Would you go? You want that I go on deep on something? Or any of you have any other question about this kind of issues? Yeah, sure. Pharmaceutical industries now is doing very big departments of bioinformatics. Big departments. You think in AlphaFold? No, I assume that all of you know about AlphaFold, no? This method that Google have done to create the structures of the proteins from the sequence. No? Now you have the evolution from some months ago, almost 1 year, no, that they know how where the proteins are going to bind in DNA, in RNA, and blah blah blah, and all these kind of things. You can imagine how that impact in the pharma industry to create drugs, because you can do it in a computer. In the past, you need to identify the compound, isolate the compound, do very hard experiments and expensive experiments in mice, in culture cells, then in patients, clinical trial phase 1, you know more than me, sure, the phase 2, phase 3, and then go to the commercial. Long time, very expensive. Now you can do some of these phases in the computer. Novartis is open now a division of this in Barcelona, Spain. No? Google is working, I'm sure. I know that it's been record, but I'm sure that Google is not doing this of AlphaFold by the society, because it's a company, the company needs product. AlphaFold 1 or version 2 was free. The scripts, the code, and this one. The last version is not free. Okay? That means that they are working in these kind of things. You need to this kind of issues, no? Now is in the Vera is working on that, and it's very trending topic, the digital twins, because we have now a lot of data on cancer patient or other diseases that you can model it mathematically. How could be the response? That means that you can create a virtual avatar of you, for example, try to treat with hundreds of treatments in the computer to see what could be the best. I mean, this is at the moment is at the research level, but we are moving to that. Okay, we are moving to be in the clinical settings. No? What you need people that compute all these kind of things and know about biology and diseases. Therefore, it's very important that biologists, chemistry, biochemistry, clinicians move to the bioinformatics fields, and the other one now, no, engineering, and here move to the biology, and mathematicians and statisticians move to the biology. It's the crosstalk. I think now that bioinformatics is the most multidisciplinary field in any kind of work, and that is impacting. In fact, bioinformatics started after the human genome sequencing. Before the human genome sequences, the sequencing was done by hand, one sequence by one sequence in the lab. But of course, the explosion was after the human sequence. That for you now, maybe you not realize, no? But imagine, no? Early of this century, a lot of our researchers make public the whole sequence of the human. Make public, not private, public, and this was a revolution. Anyone, and you can, with UCSC or whatever, you can go and check any part of the sequence of the human genome that you want. That means that you have many eyes that can go there to take information for your interest that you have. No? And that was really a revolution. And then after that is the first time that in the biology you can apply machine learning methods and artificial intelligence. Because machine learning and artificial intelligence is not new. It's something from the 60s, the last century. Okay, the problem is that you only can really apply at that times in one field. Do you know what field? In? No. Sorry? Yeah, what field of knowledge can be applied in machine learning at the end of the last century? Math? Space. Because we have a lot of satellites at that time, and look for in the university about planets, stars, try to look for life outside of the Earth. You have to process a lot of data that you get, and they apply it to the space data. And that was the field that was applied the machine learning techniques and the artificial intelligence. And then after the human project is where we started to apply these methods in biology. And of course, after human, then come the other projects, big projects, the genome project, the variability projects, other projects that get much more data, and we get more data. And this is a little bit of the history of this interest of this kind of issue and how it's moving. Even with all of this, we can apply machine learning method, but it's difficult yet apply deep learning methods, neural networks. It's more difficult because we need even more data than what we have. Yeah. Any other question that you have? Any, I don't know, comments, curiosity about the history of the bioinformatics or whatever you think that is interesting for you? Well, I know that look like that is very international, this student, because other typical question in expect is where to go for research. Something like that, no? Where to go. I could say you have the opportunity to go to USA, go there. They have a lot of money, a lot of funds, and you can do science. Okay? Then Europe is good. You go to Europe, go to the north of Europe, Denmark, Netherlands, this kind, because it's not like USA, but they have good grants and good money. I don't know here in France, but yeah.
The UK with the Brexit.
With the Brexit, I know from people that it's a little bit more complicated than in the past, of course, to get the grants if you are from outside and these kind of things. You have to check every case because I know people that with the Brexit could go there. You have to do the papers, something like that, the documents, things like that, but you can work. UK, it has been always a very good, one of the motors, so fuel of the European research because they always put a lot of money. For the Wellcome Trust. Now is the UK Biobank that is sequencing epigenomics and microbiome clinical data, diet data from thousands of cases that they are doing. I think that is one of the courts better characterize it and with more data characterize it. That you can access with some payments, depends on the data that you want to access. UK is really good too, from my point of view. Of course, then you can think about this research institute or this other, but this is more detailed that I don't know. But in general, UK too is good, no? For Spanish people, I don't know if there are Spanish people here. Okay, I always recommend go outside. Go outside and because if you want to back if it's needed or you want to go up in the career, you always need to have a external experience. Foreign experience.
So if you recommend to go outside for experience, why have you come back to?
Well, that was for personal reasons. That I have my I can't tell you. I mean that I can't tell you. It's nothing dramatic. No, I had at that moment my couple, and some point, I mean, 2 years there. Although I back frequently to Spain, or she came to visit me to the Netherlands. You are far away, and at some point she told me, I mean, okay, we need to decide what to do, and I decided, okay. I prefer her in that case that my career, although I have to say that in my career was not bad later on. I mean, I found good place. I have to tell you that if at that time she didn't have a couple, I didn't back to Spain. I will move to other places. I mean, now I have a kid. I mean, if someone tell me, Enrique, I'm going to put you out of money to go to outside or whatever, I will say, I don't know, I have a kid that is small, my parents are old. You know, this is a balance that you have to decide. But you can always find opportunities. That was for me, but it was not like, okay, my wife now is killing my career because she did tell me, okay, Enrique, why you don't back to Spain? I looked for a good position in Spain, in the CNIO, that was in the top center in Spain, and I could follow my career. I mean, that sometimes it's not dramatic, this kind of things. You need to look for how you diving with this kind of issues, how you, it's not dramatic back to your country to do research, no? But what is important, you have a good network when you want to back or go to some places. It's important that your network, because your network is who is going to help you more than if you have get an advertisement to say, okay, I have a job, someone want to come. In fact, my recommendation to my students is if you are going to join someone because you are interested in a position in there, never ask for the position. Ask for a recommendation. Okay? Because the first that I'm going to check is the interest of the people that is in front of me. If someone came and tell me, Enrique, I need a job because I want to blah, blah, blah. If someone came and say, Enrique, I would like, what do you think about working this or working these other places? Or I think that there is some interest because you have to do some research. I mean, I expect that someone that speak with me, look at my papers, look at my LinkedIn, look at my Google Scholar, and he thought, oh, I'm interested in this field because I see that you do this. And then you say, okay, and then your recommendation, what could be? And if I see, and if I have money, that is the second part, no, I can say, okay, don't worry, come with me. You just mail me to say, okay, I'm looking for a position and I don't know you, I can tell you what. Look at this or as with this. Then my advice is always ask for recommendations, not for position, because after the recommendations will come the position. Yeah, it's something that I learned. It's like the people is more open to hear you, because if not, it's like you are pushing me, and maybe I don't have money. Maybe you are pushing me like, okay, I want a job, and it's like, and why I'm going to talk with you if I don't have money? In the other way, you ask for recommendation. Maybe a friend of mine have money because tell me, Enrique, I'm looking for a bioinformatician in this field. Do you know someone? And maybe you come 2 days later to talk with me about, well, could you recommend this? And if I see that you look like that it could be a good or have interest, I can say, let me mail one friend that I have. Why you don't talk? And then I say, I interviewed this girl, looks like that, have potential interest, and try to do an interview for her. And maybe I can help you in that way. In the other way, if I don't have money, why I'm going to interview you and the bosses we are always very busy. No, I'm here in 1 week I'm in Brussels, and then in 1 week later I'm in Valencia, and then I move to that, and then I don't have so much time. You need to find this kind of hints that, yeah. And my big recommendation is when you are interested looking for a job, please read everything that what the people that you are going to talk have done. Because sometimes I have interviews that say, okay, why you are interested in my group? And sometimes it's like, well, I saw, looks like I would like to do. Yeah, but why you are, if you are postdoc, what research lines you propose for my group? If you came and you say, I want to do microbiome, this kind of things, I see that because you are doing this. If you came and you say, you are going to do, I would like to do spatial transcriptomics on that, say, my group is not from spatial transcriptomics. I'm not going to do it. Look like that this is don't happen, but it's not true. I mean, this happens very frequently, that the people usually don't prepare it's like this kind of seminars. I recommend you that someone like me came that from outside, is not the professor that is a usual lecture, something like that. Read a little bit. You don't need so much. You go to my LinkedIn and you have my history, you have some papers, you go to Google Scholar. You don't need to go very expert on my life, but you know a little bit about, and then you can ask about the topic that I'm going to talk, or you can prepare some questions, something like that. No? Of course, I tell to my students that the people that don't ask in my classes and don't interact in my classes, I never recommend. No, I mean, I cannot recommend people that I don't know. Because it's about my professional things, no? That the people is going to trust me is if I send good students. I need some interest from the students. If you come to that I want to recommend. It's easy. And the only way that I have to know you in a class is because you ask, you show interest. I saw that you are participative. This kind of things. And you never know who knows your teacher. Maybe I know very top people in USA and you are very interested to go to USA. If you never tell me, for example, that you are interested to go to USA or something like that, maybe I never am going to tell you that maybe I know Rafael de Cabo, that Rafael de Cabo is one top researcher in aging, and he is the director of the Institute of Aging in Baltimore. But maybe you tell me, Enrique, why would I like to go? And I say, okay, I'm going to put you in contact with Rafa de Cabo because I know that you were asking the classes, you were interested. Maybe you came for a coffee to tell me, Enrique, where I should go now after do this because I'm interested in this field or something like that. I'm going to recommend to him, maybe. But if not, if you don't speak, you don't say nothing, why I'm going to recommend you? Your job as a student is not really. I cannot silence the message. It's not really to learn about the methods. I don't know, other stuff that usually we teach. It's important, we have to teach it, but it's not the most important. The most important is in a master is the networking that you are going to do and to know about the experience of your professors, how they arrived there, what their path, because this is my path. But that not means that was for everyone. Okay, I mean that what is important is you ask as many paths as possible, that you can have some ideas, and sometimes you don't know what to do. Go to that people and to say, okay, what do you think if I do this? What do you expect? Something like that. Or companies, no? I have had experience. And now your work is go to people that work in companies, and if someone comes out a company, it's not about what the products, because that is in Google. I mean, you should not be interested in the company tell you about the product that they do and something. They tell you how you arrive to the company, how you make the decisions, how do you feel working for a company. Did you went to different positions? They move from one company to another every how much time? 2 years? 6 years? Why you move every 2 years? Because there are people, there are profiles that they like start things, but they don't like continue the things. And you will see people in companies, in research too, that maybe it's changing every 3 years. Why people is changing every 3 years? And you will see other people that will be very stable, that maybe they can be 15 or 20 years in a company, because there are different profiles. The question is, what is your profile? Your profile. Changing things, starting, developing.
In transition.
You have to look for what do you like. I start a project, and when the project is running, I prefer to leave to start another project from the scratch. There are people that start the projects from the scratch. They want to join to some projects that are ongoing, but they want to help develop in the next phases. And you need to know where and why these people is there, because this will help you to make decisions and to see how is the world. And other thing in the research field too is important because they will give you hints about where the world is moving. If you tell me, Enrique, in the bioinformatics field, where is it going to move in the next years? I will tell you, in the systems biology. That means that if I have to do something in bioinformatics, I will talk with Vera every week, because she is one of the leaders of that field. And she will be, from my point of view, my claims. I'm friend of Vera. Okay, but from my point of view, you ask me, Vera is doing very nice job in systems biology, that I think that's one of the future of the bioinformatics, and Vera is well positioned in Europe. That means you have this opportunity that you have Vera here, and you can come every week. Well, maybe not because she travels a lot too, but every 15 days or something like to talk with her. If you want to that kind of things, no, that kind of job of bioinformatics, and want to be that. No, I'm sure that if you want to be clinicians or in the past, you will have here in Oncopol people that are leaders that you have here, and you can talk with them because they are here. You have this big opportunity to have really very relevant people to talk every week. I don't know. Any other question? Do you skip to go to the scientific part? Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't need to talk about my scientific part because this is in Google, this is in LinkedIn, it's in my papers. I mean, something that you can read. We do. I think that is much more interesting if you have questions about this. But if we don't have more questions, we jump to this.
Like the research assistant job, because
It depends on the field. Now for bioinformatics, you have a lot of jobs. We train in many people in Spain for bioinformatics, and they go for banks, marketing, and other because they manage very well data. And now with the big data, and we have very few people at the end that is going to be for in the biology side or in biomedical or not. And therefore in bioinformatics, you have now many positions. Other thing is you say, okay, I want to go to, I don't know, in Spain, Zaragoza. That is a small city, and you are maybe not, but if you are open to move different places in Spain, for example, in Spain, I assume that in France is the same because now it's a problem in Europe to find bioinformaticians, for example. I don't know if for people on the lab or for people for clinical trials, how is the job, okay? But I think that at the end is what I tell you, is talk with people. I'm sure that there are positions for you, but the point is that you is not go to Google. That is not bad to look in Google who is asking for personal. It's just think in your network, from the grade, from your friends in the school, for any course that you did, and to say, okay, this guy is working in this. I'm going to send an email or a linked message. No, remember me? Do you remember me? Although maybe it's not long time. Do you remember me? Can we talk, take a beer or take a coffee, and I can have a couple of questions because I have some doubts to do this or this. And usually people say, okay, let's go. And then you will get out of information. And I think that in general, you are going to find a job that is like it for you. Because this gives you ways to discriminate the information. No? Sometimes you don't know how it's going a company, but sometimes you have a friend that have another friend that is working in a supplier of that company and can give you some information about how is the environment of the work in the company or in a research group. I always recommend too, for example, in the research people, not only talk with the boss, because I have a very good concept of mine. I'm very good. I'm great. I treat the people fantastic. Okay? But maybe it's not. Maybe my team have other experience. And what is more important, ask people that already are not working in the group. And you have LinkedIn and you have the papers. I mean, you can try to Google the people that leave the lab and you can ask, how is the environment? How is the resources? How was your experience? And usually the people is going to answer. Okay? Don't try only one, because maybe it's true that sometimes happen that one person have a bad or whatever, and try to talk as much people as possible. You can go a very good team for a PhD with a lot of resources, but the environment is very bad. You are going to suffer during 4 years, 3 or 4. I think that in France is 3, 4, like in Spain. Maybe it's better a small group less resources, but with a very good environment. I'm not telling you that I have to do that. Yes, it's just that you have to think on that, on these kind of things. Sometimes the people prefer suffer a lot from the mental health, but have a very good papers because they are very high, very good groups. Okay? This is things that you have to think. And you have to do your job. It's not the job of the teacher. It's your job. Put in link. How many people from here have LinkedIn? Okay, that's good. Try to join in LinkedIn all people that you know. Second advice, or third, or fourth, I don't know how many advice. No, but try to join in LinkedIn as much people as you can. Because maybe you don't need something about microbiome in the next 10 years. But maybe you will have the head of the position or whatever, and you say, well, I remember Enrique told me once that I was in Toulouse, and he's doing, maybe I can contact Enrique. And you tell me, Enrique, I was in a conference with you or a program in Toulouse. I never will remember your face because I see many students. Okay, but I remember where I'm is I was here or this other, and usually I respond. More questions. If you have more questions, yeah. Is very important. Networking. Networking. You need to know. Well, there are different. I mean, I attend a lot. It's true that now this year I'm trying to reduce because I have child and and I send my people. But we try to be as a group. We try to be as much conference as we can. Of course, it depends on the money for that for each time. No, sometimes we have a lot of projects. Other times with the number of projects. But we try to be in more places that we can. It's important for different things. The first for networking, because it's important to know people. Second, to see what is the next that is going to be top, to try to be there. Okay. And the third one, because I wanted to tell one third, but now I forget. These are I think that these are the two more. Well, yes, and the third, when you are a small group like me now, you need visibility. Okay, because at the end you need partnerships. If you want to do European projects, usually you need minimum 6 groups. That means that you need some visibility. When you are small, when you are big, usually the papers are enough because you are in Nature or you are in Turn and many people read you and know what you are doing and things like that. But when you are small, it's important the visibility. I think that there are the 3 reasons. For students, if you want to do a PhD, it's very important to be in congress as much as you can, because you want to talk, as I told you, with the bosses. And it's very important to read the program before go, because usually the students don't read the program. Go there, look the papers or look that, but it's important for you look the program. Look the titles of the program to see what things do you like. Maybe you are liking this theme or other things, and then when you check the people that you could be interested, the second is research in Google. What these 3 or 4 people is not that you have to select 100 people to talk in today's noise. You a minimum, and then you go to Google, check what they are doing, confirm that they are doing something that you like, and then send an email. Hi, I see that you are in the conference giving this talk or presenting this poster, blah, blah, and I'm interested to talk with you. Could we have a meeting during the tal? Because this shows interest. You have 1 point. Okay, your job, do 1 point. Then of course you need more, but at least you get 1. And then you go there and you show him that, okay, I'm a student of this master in Toulouse, but I'm very interested in this field because we see in the lectures and I was very interested. And I saw that you are presenting and you are expert, blah, blah, blah. And what do you recommend if I would like to do a PhD? Not I'm looking for a job for a PhD. What do you recommend me if I would like to do a PhD in this field? Okay. And then you establish the conversation and they will give you some hints and things like that. But this is your job. A conference is not just go there and look the posters and things like that. You have to prepare in advance. I don't know if someone have prepared in advance a conference or a meeting or. Yeah. This is normal or no? Maybe it's not. It's normal to prepare the conference in that way. You read the program in advance, check the people that you are interested to talk. Yes? No? Not usually. No? Okay, I think that is not usual. My recommendation is, yeah. And I think that is important. You should go as much as possible meetings and places. Any other question that you have? I don't know if in internet, someone in Teams, anyone have any question, because I'm not reading the... Okay, I have 20 minutes. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we do, because at the end, you don't know what, you know my life, but you don't know what we do. Well, this is, we can skip. No, this is the last.
Slides on our platform.
I assume, yes. I think that Vera has my presentation and she can share. And there are things that are not published, but for me, I mean, I like to share what we are doing. I mean, that is not message. Ask with Vera, that give you the presentation or put in the platform or whatever. Okay. Basically, this is a picture. We are a computational biology group. We have different research lines, but here today I came with Vera to talk about microbiome. Who knows what is microbiome? Nobody knows what is microbiome. Come on. Oh, you know, it's okay. It's to know if I need to go for definitions. I think I know it's the microbes that are in our case, in the gut. Yeah, okay, I'm in a research institute that we are working in, try to understand how diets, nutrients, and bioactives that are in the food are going to affect the cells, and this affecting cells, how it's going to affect to disease, okay, or the health. We have different verticals calling precision nutrition in cardiometabolic diseases, in cancer, in obesity, in aging, and children obesity, okay. In my group, we do different things, but one of the things is to try to, yeah. In our case, not yet, but we have one project that we are taking saliva to study the oral microbiome of the saliva. If you are interested in these topics, Alex Mira in Valencia is an expert. He has a group in oral microbiome and that have been discovered that people that have species that express a lot of nitric, oxidonitric, or some of them, prevent some diseases. If you are interested, I can send you some info. But in our case now, we are working with the microbiome from the gut. Okay? We did it some years ago. Picture Your Microbe. Picture Your Microbe was a citizen science project. Okay, do you know what is a citizen science project? You call the people that they have to do some issues, try to reflection about a topic, and try to express what they think, how the things can be changed, etc. No? At the same time, they provide information to the researchers that we can do research. Okay, imagine. Now in Spain we have problem with the mosquito, with this one of type of the tiger mosquito, something like that. No, that means that now there is an application for one ecology group that tell you when you see a mosquito, please take a photo that we can classify automatically if there are mosquito. This is a collaborative effort by the citizens, and they can create map where there are more density of populations for this kind of mosquitoes. I mean, they can go there and to try to kill them and this kind of thing. No? And this is a collaborative. This motivate to the people to think about change in the environment and change by the climate change, how it's changing this kind of things, because in the past we never had this kind of mosquito. And then we get data that we can analyze to do something. No? This is similar, but we did it for gut microbiome. No? We take people, we ask people to join, healthy people, try to talk about what they think about gut microbiome, what is the interaction between diet, lifestyle, how they can interact. No? We have different actions. We have guided discussions. This is not teaching. It's not like I go there, I give a lesson, I put some ideas, and then they discuss. As a scientist, I try that the things are not going too far away, okay, and discuss about that topic. Then they gave us some questionnaires about how they eat, you say, that they can really think when you have to put the data about what you eat, how your diet, and how can affect you. And then we did a photo waste. We asked the people to take photos and do reflections about that photo. Why you take that photo, and why do you think that that photo represents something on your gut microbiome? And do you have in internet? You have a photo book with this experience, with the photos, with the sentences that the people say. And sometimes say, okay, you can see photos of people doing sport because say, I think that making sport make a good health, microbiome health status to myself. No? This is in internet. You can check it if you look for in Google or with these QRs in Picture Your Micro. We have expositions. We have many things of this. But I'm going to go for the research part. No? We have questionnaires with a lot of information from clinical, diet, lifestyle, and we have microbiome for 16x RNA. And then we did some mathematical methods, bioinformatics methods to try to explore the data. Here is explore the data. As I told you, this is healthy people. Okay, this is nothing with disease. You see that in general is people very young with amino 35. In general, they are normal. There is not so much with overweight or obesity. Physical activity, in general, 50% say that is high, or more than 75% is medium high. Good. The health classified work, if I put the no, sorry, here. If we take one index, health index from the questionnaires, okay, we see that in general they are between poor, fair, good. They are in the middle, 50-50. High processed food is 50-50. Well, this is a little bit the description of it, but in general it's a very homogeneous or relatively homogeneous code. The first one we did is, okay, a patient similarity network. This is, we took the data for the microbiome only, in this case, and we calculate the Hutchinson distance, that is how different are the microbiome patterns from one person to another. We calculate for all, no, your pattern of microbiome with all the class, your pattern with all the class, okay, to see which are more close between these cases. And we obtain this network, okay? The balls are the people, the ages, if you have higher grade, is you have more similarity between this guy and this guy, okay? If it's more tiny, is less, and if you don't have any age, is that you are not similar to that class. We cluster the cases. These are no patients, these are volunteers, and we observe 3 clusters. This was interesting because in theory, the population should be homogeneous or very homogeneous. And we calculate the abundance of different genes, and you can observe just by eye that you have some differences in some of the groups. No? Here is you have Roseburia that have decreased in this group compared with this other, and you have other things. No? Here increased bacteroides. Then we have other index that is for biodiversity, is how many different species you have. It's not the same that you have 13 species in your lab than maybe 10. Okay, it was poor in the diversity. And in some of these indices, I will not go in detail, you have that in this case, the cluster 3, the diversity is higher. Usually what we know from the literature is higher diversity, better health, gut health. And then we did a second network. We have our 3 groups, people between them, and then we say, okay, let's go to do correlations, because maybe these people have microbes that appear recurrent in different individuals from the same groups. Therefore, we look for co-occurrence. Okay. Each ball is a genus, is a class, the age, if it's green, is going to tell us that they are usually appear in the same individuals. If it's red, that means that they never appear together, okay, in the same individuals. And we build these networks just by eye and by maths. We can corroborate. You can see that they are different. If you go to this cluster tree, what you can see by eye? What differences? Like more condensed, you have more nodes, more balls, you have more edges, it's more segregated, condensed compared with this, and even with this that is look more sparse. This is what we saw. Then we went for keystone taxas. No? Keystone taxas are important genus that have many connections in the network, and they are important for the stability of the network. Okay. Well, we identify that we have difference between these three different clusters. I have to say that the size of the ball is the abundance, okay, usually of this. And you can see one important thing, that here sometimes the most abundant are not the key taxa that are leading the connections in the network. This is important because if you read about papers about microbiome, you will see that all people is looking for the biomarker. Okay, and they want to provide one species or one taxa that could be, or two that are really important, no? But the point is that this is an ecosystem. Okay. From my point of view, and this is from my point of view, I think that we need to go to this kind of views of cluster, not just go for one taxa. And this is taxonomic because it's sequence. Okay. There's nothing about function. This is important because maybe one bacteria is not the most abundant, but have many copies of a metabolite that is going to, or a protein or whatever, that is going to express, okay, and that is going to affect the metabolites and that kind of things. And this is different. For that, I think that we need to change the way that we analyze the data for a more ecological perspective. Is there an ecologics someone that have worked in ecology? No. Well, it's nothing. You look the betweenness characteristics inside of the network. Yes, there is no ecologist. And this is, you are ecologist? You have a question. But that is really important. You have ecologists to try to understand this kind of networks because they work, no? And if I will be an ecologist in this time, and if so, I will say, okay, I'm going to go for bioinformatics in health because they are going to need me. Okay. To understand this kind of things, no? We check these genus, these classes. You can see that, for example, cluster 3 is related with lipid metabolism, weight loss, short chain fatty acid producers, fiber consumption that usually are good for the health of the gut. Okay, look like at this kind of structure, we can start to think that if you have a complex structure, many nodes, a lot of diversity, higher diversity and highly connected, is more healthy than compared, for example, with cluster 1, that is more related with BMI, with gastrointestinal disorders, and with more consumption of red meat. Okay? This is very interesting because this is healthy people. Remember. And we start to see that the community of this cluster and the keystone taxa that are there is starting to give some insights that maybe these people in the future is going to have something. Of course, we didn't follow. We don't know if they are going to have disease. No, but they start to give a hypothesis about that this could be important. The next one is to be, okay, I have 3 clusters. What are the difference in the other variables that we have in the clinical and in other settings, no? And all was very uniform. We didn't see much more different, except in weight and in BMI. BMI was not insignificant, was close, but you can see that the BMI was really very close. No? Our hypothesis is that for any reason, the body compositional is doing something in the microbiome. Well, the other way around, we don't know if the microbiome is doing something for the body composition. Okay. Yes, but we don't have any other clues about that. No, I mean, we see that, yes, healthy people, that they don't have any disease. We can separate by microbiome because maybe the BMI. No, we have the food questionnaires and we didn't find different patterns in the food because it's something that you can think, no, okay, maybe they have food. No, we didn't find a strong cluster. No. And this is just one of the words that I presented this morning, and of course we are almost on the time, and I don't want to go more further, but that's how we are using the discrete networks and microbiome to try to understand how the people, what is a healthy gut microbiome, because it's something that is not described. We don't know yet what is a healthy microbiome, but it's meant to be very important. It's very, very important because, for example, now that we are in a cancer center, it is known, for example, that if you transplant fecal samples from healthy people to cancer patients before chemotherapy therapy, they improve the response to chemotherapy. Okay, that means that it's starting to be that the gut, we know now that the gut can modulate the drug action. And in some cases, you can put a drug. The bacteria can metabolize that drug, and the basic principle of the drug cannot arrive to the organ or to the tumor that is affected. And it's getting really important, of course, for food. No, I mean, now we are more worried than maybe 20 years ago about what we eat and these kind of things. And we know that there are studies that will respond to the same food in different ways. Sometimes there are people that to the dark chocolate, after that chocolate, the glucose peak increase a lot. But there are other people that after that chocolate hit, the glucose is not going to be very high. Okay, I mean, that is better. And that we know now that is as how the microbiome in the gut is metabolizing the chocolate or whatever, no, or other food. Therefore, we are now moving to the general recommendations that the nutritionists have been done during the last 30 years, basically in the Harvard plate and in the food pyramid. I don't know, you know the food pyramid, no? That you say, okay, what you should eat during the week. Greens, fruits, blah, 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 and then to processed food in the top of the pyramid. We are moving more to a more precision nutrition depending on the characteristics of each one. And one of them is important, is the microbiome. And this is all that I want to tell you. I mean, I have many things that I can tell, but I don't know if you have any other question, last curiosity, suggestion. I know that this about diets now is something that is in the top about how we should eat and if this is good or this is not good, and it depends on your microbiome. There is one phrase say that, no, that we are what we eat. No, I mean, we are what our microbiome process. Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your questions. I don't know if this will I know that it's a little bit different talk that usually you have for invited speakers. I don't know if this can be useful for you. I hope yes, and I hope that you will be interested. And anyway, if you want contact for me in the future, please do it. I mean, don't be embarrassed about that. If you think that I can help you or I can support you in anything that you consider. And thank you very much for your time and for your attention. Okay, we can go for a weekend. I mean, I have to back to Spain yet, but you are at home, I assume. Sí.
¿Te molestaría si lo puedo poner en contacto con la licenciatura? También tenemos un programa de Computational Genomics que nos invitan a científicos extranjeros a dar seminarios y compartir con los estudiantes. Y sé que la mayoría de mis compañeros de licenciatura todavía están buscando internships, último año de investigación.
No, no hay problema. ¿Dónde es?
En México.
Ah,
Cuernavaca.
pues ya te digo, tenemos a una investigadora que de la Baja California es México,
Norte, sur.
va por ahí con dos residencias. que de México, están las tortugas y tal, ahí las tenemos para él. Sí, sí, por supuesto, sí, encantado.
Sí, es,
Vamos, tienes mi contacto, si no quieres saber, no tienes internet. Si soy entonces hablamos el día tal en Toulouse y yo paso.
gracias.
Only one. Yeah, my first you let me to be aspiring quite medium skills, understanding. And after that, look for a place where you can going to the market books that are
I'm thinking
this is my recommendation. If you want to live the life, you like the life. Do you want to live the life working or you like the life working?
I want to try to track it.
no, we hope to see you.
A little bit of Brian,
Yeah.
you can do whatever, and then you don't need to be expert in Python or in R to work on this. You only need a minimal knowledge. You're welcome.
Started with informatics because I did an engineering biotech. So informatics was one of the subjects. I don't have a deeper knowledge about it. It's very superficial, but I was thinking of transitioning from wet lab to informatics in the future. So
No, it's good. I mean, you have minimal skills in R, Python, some courses. You can do it regular courses. You don't want that in Coursera because that you can start. And you start with minimal. Like R, it's an object with semantics.
But then there's
Some
but
categories. The more specialized when you are in a group. No, when you are in economics, they are really very different. Yeah. Again, my suggestion is to train a little bit and get some skill that you see that you are comfortable, Unix, Python, and then try to find a group that you can explore. Okay, my advice.
honestly, no, Python is technical.
Okay.
Python is much better. Again, Python will have some problems. Try to tell myself.
I learned a lot with Paco Jaime, the guy that I trained Jaime. Yes, I trained Jaime.
An interface with analysis.
When I left the group, I think that they have more bioinformatics around because I seen out of master students. I think that is a problem. I don't know. So I'm trying to. When you go for 3 months, for 6 months, 6 months, try to maybe we will be there. Sometimes we stay there. So. In any case, you want to take a coffee one day, do something, I may have like. I may have email. Yeah, we can talk about what are you going to do?
he has transitioned
So it's really important that if you find a good tool, there are also ways to run webinars. But it needs to affect the best tool. It's not necessarily the one that I'm selecting like this. So there's a lot of debates also why the results are different. Because I mean, if we are looking at real things, I think they will not be so different. There's a bit of an art part to it. Yeah, healing money suffers.
Yeah, I know.
But don't be, I mean, we are working on
About tools, my recommendations, try to get a basis of my tools. And then try to look for the page. And then try to look, yes, and then try to look for the page where you can expand the skills. I know people in Spain in imaging. Maria Lieva, the reference that you have in Spain about imaging, is from education. You can put it in she's a collaborator of the master with the student It's a good option to be in imaging. Because now there are many images
you guys
from the biological point of view. And it's going to be a field that is going to increase. Yes, I think that you are in a good place. The gold road, a hot topic and trending topic in the future, how to manage the figures, nice figures, how to manipulate. It's a good position, it's a good place. That is the beginning. Then you have to look for a place. Etc. Yes. If you know what is an object in art, you know what is an object in art. You have the basics. You know how to do a loop. You have the basics. Then my advice is once you have the basics, try to go for a place where you can develop those skills and go more on deep and learn more. This is my advice. Yeah, I mean, it's important. Of course, you can understand that you are not going to first out or something. I think you will be in the middle usually. But this is good. At the beginning, right? You don't need to be the first out. Like, you do something that is more interesting and there is a big paper and that part go inside and you are in the middle. You don't need to be the first out. Thinking that you are not in the
over 3
so it's not
Finally, we will explore if you are a biologist and opportunity.
No, I mean, it's funny if you say, I mean, I have to and I have to write 3 papers. It's just too much. Try to do something practical too. Because the only thing is, you have the chance to choose. try to choose something that is talking, high trending, and maybe the group or the result that you get, put it in a paper. You want to look for that. It's not that you write the paper, it's that maybe it's the thing that you do several times. Maybe not in 1 month or 2 months, at least you must decide. Paper. I will not be obsessive about the paper. Okay, it's important. But I will try to balance that. Just the paper with the paper. I will try to learn. Develop my skills. If I get the paper, I'm going to say that you have the opportunity. Good. It's good that you do it. Not try to be, when you are going to do the PhD, yes, go for it because it's your PhD. And now you are in the master's, you have the opportunity, but not to be so focused on that. Try to learn, just learn and try to do the international to keep some experience, in something, explore what do you like, because the international, maybe you say, okay, I like it in economics, go there and so. But I don't like this.
Focus to.
Yeah, and that's good. That's good. It's not lost time. In fact, it's very difficult to find what you like. It's more easy to say what you don't like. Because this is more clear for one. What you don't like is more complex. I mean, you should remove what you don't like, you the great job. And then you use the internship to say, okay, what I want, image, economics, or the thing, clinical knowledge. Perfect. I want to try this, things that I like it. I do this, I need this. Okay, go for it.
Thank you very much.
Sí, disculpa, ¿te molesta si hablamos de...?
No, por supuesto.
Vale, bueno,
¿Porque tú eres de?
no, es que mi novia es española y...
Y entonces...
Sí.
Buenas cosas.
Pues no tengo elección, ¿sabes? Bueno, y bueno, me gustaría hacer mi tesis en España. Bueno, ya fui en la Universidad Francisco de Vitoria, en Puerto de Aragón, y con Maite Iglesias Bayola.
Bueno, ahí conozco a Víctor Lobo. Esto me lo enseñé, pero no me siento.
Vale, bueno, y bueno, el problema es que me gustaría hacerla en parte en España y en parte en Francia, porque también tengo que hacer mi residencia en el hospital de Toulouse, porque...
¿Tú eres médico?
Bueno, soy odontólogo, así que, bueno, es dentro de mucho tiempo, pero me gustaría saber si se puede hacer o no, ¿sabes?
Sí, entiendo que sí. O sea, buscar sitios, depende del tema que te guste, qué quieres hacer, ese tipo de cosas. Pero entiendo que sí, no le veo. No le importa. Buscar a alguien que tenga dinero en el tema que te guste. Buscar gente que te oiga. Si es en área bioinformática, en clínicas,
Sí, bueno, lo que quiero decir es que no molesta a la gente que...
Tú escribe a la gente.
Sí.
Oye, si no te contestas, no te han contestado.
Sí.
Si te han contestado, se que has ganado. Si no escribes, no tienes nada.
Claro.
Si no escribes a la gente, no tienes nada. Si tú escribes a alguien, te contestan 3, has ganado 3 personas, pues te puedes quedar todo.
Sí.
Tienes 3 oportunidades. Bien porque ellos quieran reclutarte, bien porque ellos te pueden recomendar a otra persona. Pues amigo, no busques siempre un trabajo, tienes que recomendar. Estoy buscando tal.
Bueno, además no tienen que pagarme porque el hospital no tiene que pagarme, así que...
Si además te pagan, pues está fenomenal. Entonces, ¿en qué temas quieres investigar?
Bueno,
Hacer el pie?
las células madre en el momento. Pero puede cambiar porque la tesis voy a hacerla, pero dentro de 7 años o cosas así que, bueno, hay mal tiempo.
Pues que esto simplemente es que escribas a la gente y ya está. Es decir, y a lo mejor no te responde todo el mundo, pero bueno.
Vale.
Si te responden mucho, pues mira. Pero generalmente la gente suele responder. Cuando hay un cierto interés, cuando hay un cierto interés, y que estás preocupado por saber pues si me tengo que decir hablar con usted para buscar trabajo. Hola, mire, me he mirado su texto, me he mirado que hace su grupo. He visto que tiene esta línea de investigación. Me interesaría porque estoy buscando un doctor y que si hablan con usted para ver qué me sugiere.
Sí.
Sobre si quisiera hacer en España, pues dónde podría optar, con quién, si otras líneas.
Y una cosa, ¿sabes? Si, bueno, los laboratorios de Cataluña, a ver, en catalán o en castellano, porque yo...
Depende, o sea, si te vas a un grupo que es muy internacional y que te, pues te van a hablar en inglés.
Vale.
Si vas a un CSG, a un BSC y tal, generalmente se va a hablar en inglés.
que porque hay mucha gente internacional.
Sí.
Eso depende de lo grande y lo pequeño. Eso tienes que explorarlo, tienes que...
Sí, ahora. Quiero aprender el Canadá porque, bueno, ya.
Eso se explora. Sí, depende de lo que eso depende de lo que quieras y depende de los sitios.
Vale, pues muchísimas gracias.
De nada.
I have a lot of opportunities right now.
Ah, that's good.
Oh, yeah. Tengo un tío mexicano que está en the UK, en Newcastle, pero es en matemáticas y yo soy más en Bioinformatics y más en Complex Systems in Life Science, en City. Pero soy americana, entonces sería muy fácil para ir a Estados Unidos. Pero tengo una enfermedad desde el verano, que I was diagnosed this summer. And I wanted to specialize in immunology, like I was saying, for selfish reasons. But so I don't know what to do. Like, should I go to Newcastle? Should I start like doing immunology? And I was like participated in a.
You don't need to do, you can do everything. Because you can say, okay, you can go to UK, learn more mathematics,
Yeah.
improve, and then move to immunology.
That's also okay. I can
You don't
do
need,
both.
you don't need to say, okay, sometimes not. Maybe the guy in the UK has some projects in immunology, or not. Vera has projects in immunology. Maybe you can have a talk with her, Vera, or something with the methods of him that could be interested for the Vera group. I'm telling Vera because I know Vera and I know a single thing. I think that you have to explore. What do you prefer? What do you like? What do you? I think that you have different. Yeah, it takes like a bit of time because you have to Google. Say in the USA, you know, people look for what they are doing and what is interesting for you, and say what do you prefer. If you think that you know bioinformatics, but you need more math skills,
Yeah.
maybe it's a good option.
Yeah.
And if they are working in complex systems, the immunology is very complex.
Yeah, I know. That's why.
That's why maybe it's a good option to go to for improve the mathematics and learn about this, and then go to a lab in immunology that you can apply all this knowledge in immunology.
That was
It's not something. In fact, in that case, I will talk with Vera.
okay.
My suggestion is talk with Vera because Vera is doing these multi-layers, these kind of things. If you're interested with the guy, maybe the method that they use in the guy is interesting for Vera.
He's doing more of like responsible artificial intelligence. That's it, no?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No, that is great because now it's something that explainable things is very important for the AI in the Europe. Hot topic.
Yeah. I know.
You are moving in a very nice place.